Have you ever noticed that spiritual awakening is often described as a destination, but almost no one talks about what comes next? I'm Allison of Blossoming Heart Wellness. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and a spiritual mentor and the author of The Divine Within. And over the past 25 years, I have studied spirituality, psychology, neuroscience, trauma healing, meditation, and contemplative traditions because I genuinely wanted to understand what helps people heal and what helps us live with greater wisdom and compassion. One question that has stayed with me more than any other is, how do we actually live as human beings after a spiritual awakening? Not during the retreat, not during meditation, not during the mystical experience. I mean on Tuesday morning, when you have bills to pay, when you're grieving, when your nervous system is overwhelmed, when your marriage is struggling, when your parents still don't understand you, when your business isn't growing, when the world feels unfair. And I've noticed something interesting. Many spiritual communities spend a lot of time talking about awakening. Far fewer talk about integration. We're told to awaken, to raise our vibration, to surrender, to remember who we really are. But then what? How do we live as fully human beings? Because awakening doesn't make us stop being a human being. It doesn't erase trauma. It doesn't eliminate grief. It doesn't guarantee financial abundance. It doesn't automatically create healthy relationships. It doesn't prevent disappointment. And I think many people quietly feel confused about this because they expect awakening to solve the human experience. I know I did. There were times I thought if I healed enough, if I understood enough, if I became spiritually mature enough, then life would finally make sense. Instead, what I found is something extremely different. I still experience grief. I still experience uncertainty. I still wrestle with injustice. I still have days where I question everything. The difference isn't that I'm no longer human. The difference is that I have a different relationship with being human. For me, spirituality is becoming less about escaping my humanity and more about learning how to inhabit it with greater honesty and compassion. I've also noticed that psychology has something incredibly important to offer spirituality. Psychology reminds us that our nervous systems matter. Our attachment histories matter. Our relationships matter. Our bodies matter. Our emotions matter. Spirituality reminds us that we are more than our wounds. Psychology reminds us that we cannot bypass the wounds. I don't think these are competing truths. I think they belong together. Maybe awakening isn't the end of the journey. Maybe it's the beginning of learning how to bring awareness into ordinary life, into conversations, into conflicts, into work, into disappointment, into joy, into love, into paying bills, into washing dishes, into being fully human. For me, awakening isn't about becoming less human. It's about becoming more fully myself, returning home to who I have always been, more honest, more compassionate, more humble, more willing to question my own certainty. And maybe the part that we don't talk enough isn't how to awaken, but how to live. I'd love to hear your thoughts. You don't have to resonate with my perspective. You don't have to agree with my perspective. I hope that you can share your perspective in a way that honors that we might all need something different. What has been the hardest part of integrating your spirituality into your ordinary human life? Because I think that's a conversation many of us are longing to have. And if this does resonate, I hope you'll consider reading my book, The Divine Within, Healing Ourselves to Heal the World, or consider working with me. I work as both a therapist, a spiritual mentor, and a wellness coach, helping people understand themselves on a deeper level, how to work with their nervous systems, how to inhabit their human experience with more compassion and grace. I'm sending you deep love and appreciation for who you are.